Well, welcome back everybody to our online program on addiction recovery from the Sunshine Coast Health Center. And we've been talking about practical exercises you can do to live a more fulfilling life. And the purpose behind this, of course, is that we're making this argument that people who succumb to addiction do so because the lives they are living, they're kind of dull and monotonous and boring. They really don't feel much pizzazz in them. So these exercises are intended sort of to make life feel a little more richer, a little more energizing for you. And we're focusing on self-awareness and being able to live your life so that you're true to yourself. And one of the big problems with people in recovery, in early recovery, is that very often they operate according to fear, not according to what they actually want. And these fears can take any shape. In the 12-step program, they would say things like fear of financial insecurity. In relationships, people run into problem because of fear. The jealousy arises of their fear of losing their loved one. And so there's many fears that operate. And one of the keys, if you're going to be true to yourself then, is to be able to overcome fear, to be able to face it. So this exercise is basically figure out a fear that you have that you would actually like to overcome. So some typical ones in early recovery would be something like, go dancing without being inebriated. That's a pretty common one. Or, speak in public without, needing to drink a Mickey beforehand. Some fear like that. Something that you would actually love to be able to do without anxiety, but you're just afraid of doing it. So you pick one and then make a plan to deal with it. For example, let's say you're afraid of public speaking. You could do something like, well, I'm just going to speak at the annual meeting, or I'm going to speak at an AA meeting, and we'll just see what happens. Or you could be a little more cautious, maybe, for example, join Toastmasters, right? And learn, get some practice in there so you feel comfortable, so it's not as abrupt as just throwing yourself into it. And then when you do it, think about it, right? And this is really the key piece, is think about, well, all that anxiety you had, like, was it worth it, right? Was all that fear worth it? All the time it took, all the energy it took out of you? How bad was it actually to go dancing clean and sober? How bad was it to speak in public, right? And then measure out, are you more pleased with yourself? Do you think you've grown as a person? Did you have some abilities you didn't think you had before? All those kinds of things are very important for facing, being able to face your fear head on. Anyway, that's this episode, and we'll be back next time with another episode in our series.